Sometimes I feel like an old man when I watch these YouTuber influencers go to wrestling, and I think the thing that really like pisses me off about it, like that ticks me off the most about it, is like the ones that like I get it, like they're clearly fans, but like they get to the highest levels of like wrestling and like kind of skip everything and just like
Yeah, yeah.
I, I don't know, man. I would feel like garbage if I spent my teens and all that, and I get to this level, and oh, your opponent is the guy who like did scammed a bunch of teenagers to buy cryptocurrency. I'm like, really, really, this is my opponent. I'm sorry. I would
Whoa,
have to
whoa.
I would give him a bump.
So,
I'd
all
bump
right,
the shit out of him.
here's your opponent. Is this guy who has done some things that people will never forgive him about, including the something that happened in Japan, and you have to lose to him
Oh
because
no.
he's sponsoring our mat because he Prime sponsors all of our events right
I would give him a bump so hard on
now.
the logo, the worst, and I would no sell his finisher.
So they just did the rules reading and everything for the Tyson Paul fight.
Oh, nice. How'd that go?
So
So you're
that's
biting.
going off. No, nothing major. Other than Tyson saying he's going to vote for Trump.
See, CTE is dangerous. Check your friends, people. Check your friends. Check in on your people. Oh man. I was out this weekend doing my yoga thing like that, and I think I met like two different talk about like, hey, I want you to know something. Like, I'm a lifelong Republican, and I'm voting R everything besides presidential and everything non-federal. Local, I'm still gonna vote Republican, but federal, I can't. I'm like, even Todd Rokita. Oh no, Todd. I'm changing. No, not Todd. I'm like, oh okay, all right.
So basically, two people. What about governor?
Yeah, they're gonna go for governor. Like, I just can't. I'm like, oh my god. It's like I need more time. I could probably get this out of you. I did see a lot of cool rainwater things in southern Indiana. I was more shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked that far south.
He did good last election down there.
Yep. Hey, Christy. Yep. It's Monday. It's that Monday show.
It's where I lose my fantasy football Monday night.
Is that a furry thing?
Only if he uses underdog fantasy.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, I was down 15 points, and they had one person. I had one person going against each other, and what are we in the middle second quarter? And the guy's already scored 10 points on me, so I'm done. Dunzo.
I have no idea what's going on.
As long as he's not a Cowboys
It's
fan.
gaming. It's just more gaming. You just gotta understand it, right?
I don't like this type of gaming. I'm gonna gatekeep that gaming.
I was just spending an hour and a half doing fantasy football election edition.
Oh god. I don't know. This whole gambling thing to me seems degenerate and away from God, and we should probably stop it.
It's the degeneracy
of our republic, poisoning the
post-enlightenment era. That's what we need.
Oh, man, I don't know. I just think it's a slippery throat. We bring gambling back, and all these bad things happen.
Hey, look. At least Indiana is making it harder to get the porn, right?
Oh my god.
Well, anyway, this episode is sponsored by DraftKings, and
you get $20 in matching. That's for your first bet. Guaranteed winner. First bet.
That's so awful. We're not really sponsored by them. Hashtag not sponsored.
No, absolutely.
You can do DraftKings Indiana, but you can't play poker. Because
which is which is really weird.
asinine.
Is that we can
It's like
we
you
kinda
can't
got
play.
boot-
It's got to be a game of skill, and poker is not a game of skill. I'm like, yes, it is a game of skill if you've ever played poker. But no, you can bet on sports, which is not even you playing.
right. So you play it.
Excuse
You're-
me.
Yeah, it's all the ultimate game of luck. It's not luck. Bull crap. Anything can happen. That's the fun of it. Luck.
God, imagine racing for pinks, but you're betting your cars on NASCAR races.
Mhm.
Hold on. You're onto something. Hold on. You're onto something. Let's get us a site. There'll be some losers that'll do this. But my opinion.
When I play poker, I win because I know how to play poker. Because I know how to read people. I know how to see.
So
There's a skill to it. It's really irritating that people don't think there's a skill to freaking poker, and there is.
The table that I like to gamble at is called the S&P 500. I'm just sorry, it's got a great rate of return, better than your poker table.
And the best part about poker is that you're not playing against the house. Like all the other games at the casinos, you have to play against the house, and the house always has an edge.
Mm-hmm.
In poker, you just have to play against the people around you and come and beat them more than the rate take is, and you win.
I don't know.
Harry, I played poker. You know that I'm not that bad.
Considering that you do kind of look like T-Moo Kenny Rogers gambler.
I'm starting to look a little bit like Doyle Brunson. Is that what you're saying? All right, I get it. I hear you. Or I look more like his son. To be honest with you, I do because he has the ponytail too and the thinning hair.
Yep.
So I'm starting to look more like Doyle's son, but Todd Brunson. That's his name.
Or like,
it's
okay. Eventually, I will convince Vincent to write a movie for us, and we'll do like a bring back the support your local series. I think it'd be great.
Support your local, sure. Those are good movies.
I know. I think it'd be funny.
I grew up on those. I watched somebody react to what was it? The House of Murders or something. Like it was an old comedy that predates Clue. It was kind of a Clue type TV show, and most people don't know about it or remember it, and you can't really get it anywhere because it's got a really bad Peter Sellers doing an Asian stereotype, and I think there's a lot of people scared of it because of that reason.
The past was doing its best. Leave him alone.
And Peter Falk turns to him and says something about, well, I know you can't hardly see, and how can I tell if you're sleepy because your eyes are always like that? And calls him slanty. And the person reacted to it was just like, not realizing that the person who was playing the character was not it was doing Peter Sellers was doing a really bad, broken. And they were making fun of it too, because they're like, just say your articles, just use proper English. What are you doing? Anyway,
so
but it's a funny movie.
There's a podcast out there called That Aged Greatly. Great, isn't it? I forget. I don't want to butcher its name. And they go through titles of this, look, just the past was doing its best. The first one I watched was Porky's.
Breakfast and Symphonies, man. That was the bad one.
They just
Mickey Rooney's Asian character in that was just so cringe. Now it was cringe then, to be honest with you, but man, now, Porky's was my favorites. I grew up watching that in the theater when I was 14. My dad took me to go see it when I was 14 years old.
Okay. Yeah, the podcast is called This Aged Great. Yeah, so I just watched the one they just did called they did Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks. So it was an 80s.
I love that movie.
Tom Hanks.
1984. I just got out of high school and I was in college when that came out. Big Tom Hanks fan because I watched him on Bosom Buddies when he was just starting out. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I was -10.
Yeah, they did that one, Teen Witch, and The Last American Virgin.
Last American Version was a good one too. Yeah.
Like I
remember
said,
one.
that aged great. Yeah.
Oh, I could go back to some movies. Woo, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that's anywhere connected to that was the Marlon Wayans was on like the Shannon Sharp podcast. He was talking about and
White
Living
chicks.
Color and Living
Oh.
Color. Talk about some of the stuff in Living Color, and he was also one of the things he said that he was talking about how the school he got into, which is like a performing arts school for high school, and that his dad basically was very homophobic and basically said that he couldn't go because that's where all the gay kids went. And Keaton Ivory Wayne showed up and basically bitched his dad. And he's like, that boy's gonna go to that school, and if he doesn't get in, you have to answer to me. And Marlon was like, that's when I knew Keenan was for real, and I knew my dad was a bitch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, White Chicks is out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
The car is not aging well.
Do you remember the one Soul Man?
Oh God, that movie! I saw it in the theater when it came out. Oh,
Right, hold. Go
C.
ahead,
Thomas
Joe.
Howell. C. Thomas Howell decides he has to get into college, and the only way he can't get in with his grades, so he decides to go on the affirmative action plan. So he goes into blackface and gets a black girlfriend, and it's such a great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie, right? So you recommend this movie?
Oh man.
Right.
You know, I don't think it was great when it came out, and it really is great now.
God, right.
I don't know what C. Thomas Howell was thinking. Like, dude, here's how we end your career overnight. Do this movie.
It's okay. They can't do that movie today. They would call it woke, right? Reinhold? Actually, no. Matt Walsh would probably redo that movie. Send that to the Daily Wire. Get that script.
It's gonna be on the sequel is gonna be on Daily Wire because it hits all the buttons, right? Yeah, because he only could get in college. He couldn't get in as a white man. He had to go in as a black person because they were DEI.
Oh God, let's write that for the Daily Wire. Let's get that money.
just take the movie and just print it out in a script form and hand it to him with a different name and see if he bite on it.
Just change all the words affirmative action to DEI.
Oh my God.
Give me my money.
Just sit there. God, they would green light this thing. All right, we got Gina Carano. Let's go.
We can perm her hair. She can play a black girl. Let's be fine.
Oh man,
She's got range.
This is a peak.
But by the way, Reinhold, he was talking about he talked about white chicks on that podcast.
Oh, did
and how Sean made it up. And he like called him, and it's like 2:00 in the morning. He's like, "Listen, we need to play white women." And Mother just goes, "Bro, you need to put down whatever you have," and hung up the phone. And then he showed up the next morning. He was like, "No, I'm serious about that." He goes, "No, you're not."
I got this great idea for a movie.
There's a bunch of really interesting stories about how
be like, if you get Terry Crews, I'm down. Damn it.
He's talking about how Keenan Ivory Wayans forced him and Sean to rewrite a bunch of scripts over and over again. And they did like 9 drafts of this script, and because he kept saying it wasn't good enough, and they were like, he was like, "I wanted to kill this man. I do not care. I wanted to kill him." but it came in handy because they had to. One of the movies, can't remember which one it was. One of the movies they did that was like really good, really popular. They had to go back through and redo it because the original director failed, and Keenan came in and is like, "I'll do it. All right, you guys need to redo this movie."
Y'all need to redo this movie.
Write it. Go.
I just pulled up a list of movies that aged poorly, right? And I
Yeah.
can't believe what they have on here, and they didn't mention Soul Man. I'm like, dude,
Oh, God.
they have Breakfast at Tiffany's on here, which that makes sense, but
Yep.
Soul Man's not even listed.
Oof.
And you've got Chasing Amy on here. I'm like, sorry, I know that it's not that time anymore, but still, that Chasing Amy still speaks to a certain thing. It's still relevant. I don't
Okay.
know what.
All right.
Mm.
All right. So not many people will see this one. You ready for this one? Kissing Cousins, an Elvis Presley movie. Right. You know this
Oh
one?
yeah, I know that one. Hey, my mom loved Elvis to death, and I think I've seen every Elvis movie that there is
Hmm.
to see. That was one of them.
God.
Was it Jane? I can't remember who it was. It was in the movie. It was in the movie with him. Was it? It wasn't Jane. No, it wasn't. Now I'm having a
No.
brain fart on who was in the movie with him.
Crap. I know.
Harry,
Look,
Harry, remind me to pay an editor to come back through when Reinhold gave this massive pause about. It's like, oh yeah, my mom loved and then putting Kissing Cousins to Elvis
Yeah.
Presley.
Mm-hmm.
Magical.
And also clip back out how Reinhold said he liked Soul Man when it came out.
Yeah.
Edit that.
It was like it was hilarious.
I know.
It's like it was
groundbreaking. It spoke
was
to
great then,
to
and it is great now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it would help this, take all
spoke
those
to the
like
culture.
I'd see. I told you, Rhino's a Democrat. Oh, casual racism. Welcome back to the right. Welcome back to the right. I thought we lost Reinhold there for a second. He's right back with us. Yeah. Which the thing that blew my mind was like, because I haven't watched it. What is it? Gryffindor's Tribe. Remember that one? Reinhold?
That one I don't remember now.
Where the college professor, his wife died, and he's supposed to be going on this trip to find like this lost tribe, and he didn't because he was sitting at home depressed, and he had to go do a report. So he just dressed his kids up as these Aboriginal tribe and sent photos in. The past was doing its best.
Was it though? Was it though?
Oh, man, I love this part. And yeah, if you have not watched this age great podcast, please check them out.
Was that made then, or was that made in like the 2000s in Canada?
Ooh, no. Oh yeah. I had a Canadian Prime Minister starring in this.
The movie I was talking about was Murder by Death, by the way. Just letting you know. If somebody wants to go out and watch that movie, it stars Truman Capote, by the way. Alec Guinness is in it. I mean, Peter Falk, Peter Sellers, Eileen Brennan, Maggie Smith, the late great Dame Maggie Smith. David Niven was in it. I mean, it's James Coco. That's crazy.
You ever seen the Thing with Two Heads? Home, the Thing with Two Heads.
So the Thing with Two Heads. There's like a bunch of movies that had that concept. I'm trying to remember which movie that was. There was one where he kept the woman's head in a jar.
That was like a guy with two heads.
Yeah, the man with two brains was Stephen Martin.
Yeah.
The woman with two heads. I'm trying to remember.
And then like the other sister. Anyways, yeah, I can go down all these like I said, interesting podcast, interesting freaking podcast. I've watched tons of these videos, I've been on the ground and just I don't know. I have been wanting to I know some videos they should watch. It makes me want to go back and rewatch some of the ones, especially movies that I enjoyed. Like, man, I wonder how bad they are now.
Murder by Death, by the way, has a 4.6 out of 5 rating from audience members.
I rewatched a G Gundam episode, and I completely forgot about this episode. I was just watching it, and then all of a sudden, all the stuff started happening, and I was like, "Whoa, my god, I forgot about this. This feels bad. Oh my god, I can't watch this." But anyways,
Dino Woman and Electric Girl. Oh, there was a good one. That was a TV series. for a period. Good stuff.
No. I said we wanted to move away.
It is a burning finger.
Is that the one with the guy that has a fire head? Yes and no. It does have burning fingers in the English translation. In the Japanese, it's supposed to be God's finger. So usually, because it had God and Devil Gundam, and apparently they didn't like that for the American audience, and they translated the, they localized it for us, for modern audiences of the time.
We gotta just do a whole genre has not aged good. Westerns,
Oof,
and a portrayal of Indians.
Oof, whoa.
American Native Americans. Sorry.
Whoa, right. I know your people probably said that a lot, but I'm not gonna lie. I did play cowboys and indigenous people of the United States. When I was a kid. Okay.
I remember when I was 5, my mom took me to a signing at a bank where I got to meet the Lone Ranger and get a picture signed.
Oh, wow.
And I asked him where Tonto was. And he said he was taking care of Silver and Scout. Scout was Tonto's horse. And I believed him. I was 5.
Yeah, man. As a kid, you believe any of that?
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Oh God,
man.
I was.
There's a lot of things.
I wasn't even. It was 69. Damn.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you probably can't go back and rewatch now. Just like, oh man.
See, Reinhold, if you want to watch westerns, you go watch Japanese samurai movies because they're basically the same thing.
They're basically the same thing.
Yeah. But
with less depictions of Native Americans.
There's some fun ones.
More.
That's true. Yeah, you get the same movies with like 100% less racism.
Sure, there's no racism at all.
Native Americans.
To Native Americans, anyways.
Yeah. There's no Japanese racism at all.
Long as they stay in Japan, there is no racism. Now, when Japan leaves their island, there's hate.
I'm trying to think. There's a movie I saw recently. I remember where somebody was doing a really bad Japanese accent. I can't remember what it was, but you can't do that stuff anymore, apparently. So.
You were supposed to do it. Was supposed to do it back then. I know, right? You were supposed to do it back then.
Oh, but Mickey Rooney, man, Rooney.
No,
such a heartfelt character.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do 16 Candles too. You want to go with that one?
That was the one I was. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. That's it. 16 Candles. That character. At least the actor was appropriate. It was. No, at least it was racially appropriate. It wasn't like race swapping or whatever. What they're doing,
basically, like they're jiving.
Like, there's this one guy doing a review of Agatha All Along, and the main character in the comic books that is brought out in the show is a gay Jewish person. The guy they got to play him was gay, but he wasn't Jewish. So there's like they're race washing and all. And it's like, come on, guys. At some point, let's it's not like he's that far off. It's not like you know what I mean. Like it'd be like saying, well, this person is playing Eastern African, but they're from West Africa originally, or something like that. It's like there's got to be a little gray area in there you can play around in where people can play roles. You know what I'm saying?
Nope, can't be.
Like, well, he's playing a Japanese, but he's Korean. You know, I mean, it's like, okay,
can't do that.
Most people can see the difference, but well, I don't know. I just think it's a little, let the actors have a little play.
Wow.
In there.
Wow.
I mean, I don't want him coming out doing like really bad stereotypical stuff, but he wasn't doing anything stereotypical, right? So
you heard it here first. Reinhold supports blackface. All right.
Hey, Harry, you want to do the intro to the show?
Anyways, hello everybody.
Are we
Welcome
supposed
to
to do that
exciting
at
new,
10 o'clock?
exciting new episode of Low Key on the Wheel of Shit Network. I'm your host, Harry, aka the Moving Target, and we're gonna be bad like that other awful Friday show that goes on that does their intro 30 minutes into it. Actually, they just stopped doing their intros this year because they just took them so long to get to it. So I feel it. We're almost there at that point. So let me introduce the cast and the voices of everybody we've talked to as we went on to like a goofy tangent, which is all Reinhold's fault. So Reinhold, why don't you go ahead and say hi?
Hi, my name's Reinhold, and I am just struggling to not do that in a stereotypical accent. Because it would be funny, but it's not acceptable, and I will not do that.
You know what? I'm going to make sure head of Weird Libertarians HR will be speaking with you tomorrow. Okay?
I didn't do it,
so
you can't get me for it.
So James, head of HR, James Neese, can you go ahead and schedule me with Reinhold?
Just keep my pay for this episode.
That's all I can think. Okay, so, all right, so this is bad. So you ever watch Blazing Saddles?
Have I ever watched Blazing Saddles? You mean have I watched it 100 times or 200 times?
So anyways, that scene where the oppressed minority collapses while building the train and they just say, "Doc, that racial insensitive slur
starts with a
days."
C,
Yeah. That goes through my head every time someone says "dock their pay," and I feel bad about it. But
it's funny because that's the first hint in that movie when you watch these millennials reacting to it. I watch reactions all the time. I love watching people reacting to Blazing Saddles, especially if they're young millennials or zennials or whatever they're called nowadays. The really young people,
Zoomers. Yeah, Vincent's crap.
You watch them, and as soon as they go, they say that's that one, but I don't think it registers because they're not in on what that means. They don't understand what that's what's going on yet, but they get kind of a look like, what's that? And then the other one comes out right afterwards, and they're just like,
never really heard of that intensity in that. It's like, no, watch the movie, and then we'll go back and re-watch the commentary, and you can hear the actors also struggling to give it to that point.
Well, that's a great story is in that specific instances where that character, like the actor who's playing that character who delivers that first line, that first usage of it, he didn't want to do it. He was fighting against it. And Cleavon Little had to say, "Look, it's a movie. It's cool. I know you don't mean it. It's just acting. It's okay." He had to talk him into saying it because he really did not want to. It was a struggle. And if you notice, Mel Gibson, or not Mel Gibson. Geez, Mel Gibson would have said it in a heartbeat. Mel Brooks never said it. Right? All the way, and you listen to that movie, watch that movie. Mel Brooks never uses that word. He starts it with that man is a nit.
And they like,
and they always stops. But I remember it was this
happens when you're in church.
Late 80s. I am working in a shop, a machine shop. And one of the guys I work with, his name is Otho. Cool guy. He ended up doing truck driving, but he was helping me. We were doing machining work together. And I said, "Hey, you should watch this movie. You should watch this movie, Blazing Saddles." And he come back to me a couple days later. He says, "Man, I'm going to tell you right now, my wife almost killed me for bringing that movie in this house and making her watch it." And he goes, "But it was hilarious."
Oh man, yeah, it's a funny movie. It's a good movie.
I mean, that's how you do satire. That's how you get away with doing this stuff, right? If you want to make actual satire, that's a good class on how you do it in a way that is acceptable because you're not punching down. You're making fun of the right people. It's done for the comedy effect of punching up at the people who are just the racists are the ones that are stupid. They can't get anything right. I mean, that's how you do it. Like in the other movie, which is Springtime for Hitler, or can't remember the name of that one.
Producers.
What's the name of that movie? Producers, right?
Yeah.
They cross a lot of lines in that movie too, but they do it in the right way. They're making fun. They're punching on the right people. They're not punching down on anybody. And that's what people don't get is when you do satire appropriately, it defangs a lot of it and mocks it. And Mel Brooks was always saying that's how you treat Hitler. You make fun of him.
Yep.
You show how stupid and silly he is, even though you're using the words and doing the things he was saying, you're still mocking it.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it.
Yeah, make fun of the Wolfie enjoyers. King of Lacos, is it wrong to say a lot of those movies still are funny but didn't age well?
Nope, it's not wrong at all.
No, it's not wrong. Yeah, it just didn't age
It's
well.
gonna be funny. Well, especially, I don't think Blazing Saddles. I think it aged well.
Yeah.
I think the producers aged well because it was done right.
Mhm.
Now, Soul Man did not age well, but it
Did not age
wasn't
well.
funny. It wasn't good satire. It was a
Right.
dumb premise. It was
Yeah.
bad at its time.
Yeah. I think Porky's didn't age well. I still find Porky's kind of funny because it's kind of.
Oh, I think what didn't age well in Porky's?
The casual voyeurism and some of the.
It was casual. It was just it's what you. I'm sorry.
Okay,
At
okay,
the
so-
time, it's what we did.
So you're saying
That
so
happened.
Ride is just like voyeurism. Voyeurism's like number 14 on the fetish list. Come on, sir.
Come on.
How is it aged poorly?
That's basically normal. You know,
But the voyeurism's like just one little bit of it, right? It's not like the whole. They do a good job of mocking stereotypes and
Yeah.
saying that
Mhm.
those things are bad. I mean, there was a good message in actual Porky's, but there was also a lot of
Things that
stuff in
didn't age
there that
well.
was very, very.
that did age
We've
well.
gotten a little bit more
It's fun-
puritanical than we
It's
did.
funny.
I think.
It's funny, but it also did age well. But just same like
Right.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Can you
There's
make-
some lot of SA
Yeah.
in Revenge of the Nerds.
Mhm.
There's some other things in Revenge of the Nerds too, rounding on some stereotypes that are a little,
Mhm.
you know, hey, clap. You can't do some of that stuff now,
Mhm.
but it was still funny at the time.
Okay.
Um,
All right. So,
Back
right.
in my
but
day.
the question I have is on Porky's was the
Of course, that movie
the-
came
the
out where
rampant
men were
sexism, like
a lot of the sexy man wore makeup and high heels though.
the
Brian was like, "You leave
In-
Prince alone."
Princess of God. When in Porky's, the thing about Porky's, I don't think you can do now as much as you could then, is just the illusions of sex and stuff that they do now. I mean,
Mhm.
they talk about it's like if you compare Porky's and American Pie, which is made a couple decades later, it was not nearly as raunchy as Porky's was.
I see that. I see that. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying with that one. Yeah, because some of it, like
I think we
American
can-
Pie also didn't age well either, because it's like they're
Yeah.
showing this woman getting naked online, which is like,
Or just
I remember watching at the time. I was like, "Ah, this is kind of cool," but now it's like, that's awful.
or how about the mother having sex with the teenager? You know, I mean, at the end, you know, Stifler's mom.
hold on.
It's a little.
Nice.
I know it's a spoiler. Sorry for spoilers.
Whoa. Female on male essay. Nice.
South Park. South Park.
Other way around.
So
If that was
wrong.
the
Reverse
other
that
way-
role. What happens? Yeah.
Ooh, get
Can't
the
have
cups.
that.
Get
Can't
the
reverse that
cups.
role.
Get Hanson here. Chris Hansen. But no, yeah.
It's a
yeah,
double
yeah.
standard.
Oh
darn
man, I
you.
forgot all about American Pie. That did not age.
I didn't age well either. There's some things in there.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's a lot that didn't age well.
You could say that it's more puritanical. It just happens
though?
that at
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna get. Like, apparently, there are a lot of research has shown that the Zoomer generation wants less sex and stuff
Mhm.
in their media because they don't think it as necessary or something they want directly
Well,
in their stuff. As
which
much.
I
Here's what I
claim-
think it is.
I claim BS.
I've got a take. I've got a take on it.
Mhm.
When I was growing up and Porky's was made and Animal House was made, we didn't have such easy access to porn as we do now. It's not like in our face every day. You can't just go online and you have to try to avoid it almost nowadays, right? That's what these kids are growing up with now. They're just seeing it. They're like, can we stop with it for a minute and
Okay.
have an actual story? When I was growing up, if we found an errant Playboy in somebody's barn back in the field. It was like that was the summer for us. We were great.
Yeah, I forgot Reinhold had the sticky magazines in the hotel store
in the bed.
Yeah, the bed. Anyways,
there used to be you go into a hotel room. If you lift up the mattress, there was 4 times out of 6 there would be a porno magazine.
Yeah, now I lifted the mattress to check for bed bugs. But anyways,
it's not that way anymore.
But that makes sense because you have such easy access for it. You don't have to watch the crazy channel. You just get online.
You're becoming desensitized to it to a point where they just would rather not. They want to actually be entertained on a story.
Correct. Yeah, it's easier to read smut, listen to smut, watch smut. So yeah, makes perfect sense. If you want to watch that type of content, you can just get it. You don't need it mixed in with the media that you're trying to like enjoy.
They want more of the actual like romantic or platonic relationship.
Yeah, and maybe that's the reason why like a lot of them enjoy a lot of anime, because a lot of those relationships aren't sexual or something like that. They are just general, like a lot of them are general friendship, unless they get ruined. You know, the ones that they like ruined, like the friendship between the boy and the girl. Like now they're lovers. Why? Can they just be friends? I enjoyed them being friends. This was great.
Why does there always have to be a relate? Like I do that too, and I'm however old I am, right? So I'm almost 60. But I watch TV, I watch shows, and it's just like, can we just have a show about what's going on and the story and the plot, and we don't have to make the people fall in love with each other? And there was a movie, and I'm trying to remember again, can't remember which one it was, but I remember that the characters were male and female, but they never got together, and that was it was a Tom Cruise movie, and there was somebody I can't remember who it was in the movie, and it was just like they were trying to make him. The producers wanted him to have a relationship, and it's like the director says she's more than just Tom Cruise's,
love interest,
easy access. You know what I'm saying? Like sex piece. She's got her own character. She's got her own. She doesn't need that. It doesn't. Right, it's not the plot, and so it was the producers wanted to make it happen.
Yeah, I watch Corn for the plot. Yeah, I bet you. Yeah. Honestly, some of them have some really good plots. I will put it up there, right? Like there's just some of them where it's just like, oh my god, Marvel needs to pick this person up. But I will take away my opinion because Reinhold has the
body
same
swap
one,
ones. Is that what you're
which means it is bad and awful.
Yeah. What does it say, Reinhold? It's like I think romance works if it makes sense in the narrative. If they force a romance, that it doesn't work as well. So if the characters naturally fall into that scenario based on what's happening, like let's look at to separate the artist from the artist. In Harry Potter, Hermione and Harry don't get together, even though they have openly platonic relationship. That they've built as friends throughout the entire narrative, which makes sense because they're friends compared to her and Ron, which their relationship turned more romantic through actions and the course of the narrative. So I think it makes sense if the plot makes sense for it to be. It's like there's this awesome female character and this main character, man guy, and we need the man guy to fuck this chick. So we're gonna force them together for no reason. That's
I remember the story now. It was Demi Moore and Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men. The producers wanted them to have a relationship, and they kind of hinted a little bit about just let me take you out or whatever, but they didn't go through with it. And Alan Sorkin said the reason why it didn't happen was because women have purposes other than to sleep with Tom Cruise.
Exactly.
You need me, and you need me not having sex with.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle this relationship. You can't handle this.
God, man. God.
Yeah, it's
God,
I feel like the most issue is the fact is that a lot of it turns into the female character only exists to be the love interest of the main character, and that happens a lot in like fantasy.
Well, that's the whole thing of the Bechdel test, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's I don't know if Harry, if you know what the Bechdel test is, but there's a test to determine whether or not a movie is or a book is sexist or whatever. I mean, just the women only exist for certain things. So it's like, is there a scene where two women have a conversation, but it isn't about a man? You know, that sort of thing. You know,
Yeah.
So there's certain things that they look for that test, and
Yeah.
that's a whole thing. You can look it up if you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know of it. I even know like porn writers who go out of their way to make sure their stuff passes the Bechdel test. I'm serious. They go
Yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
their
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Ding! Pass.
So it's like some random person comes by and the girl has a conversation with her about something other than the man that she's currently having intercourse with. Okay, that passes.
No, it's part of the plot.
Just saying, all you really need to do is look up men writing women and women writing men, and you'll understand the issues that exist.
Yeah.
When
That's
people
always
don't
been a
understand.
thing because I was doing writing when I was younger, and I
world-
always wanted to kind of be a writer, and that was always the hardest thing for me to get my head around. And it's really kind of why I started empathizing a lot with women, because I started thinking, if I was a woman, how would I react to this? Or if I was a woman, how would I write this? And so I started thinking about it, and I spent a lot of time considering that and thinking about that.
Mhm.
And I think I'm better off for it, having done it. But it is an interesting exercise to work yourself through, to kind of just imagine that thing. That's where I don't know. I don't want to get into. There's certain things I could talk about right now that we probably just don't want to go down that road. But yeah, it's a hard thing to do, is to really truly write that different perspective as a writer, without really going deep into figuring that out.
So
Right. Without being stereotypical, or being just not feeling real to the women who are reading it. If you're a man, or a man if you're reading it, if you're a woman writing it,
need more gender fluid, non-binary writers. That's what we need. Solve all of it.
Well, even that doesn't, because it depends on the character you're writing. If the character you're writing is something you're familiar with, it's easier to do, because you can have your
Right.
head in that place of, this is what this person would react to. But there is an inherent difference if you're a woman, just because your life is really different, just because of the way. Really don't know if I want to go down this path. Really, really don't know.
Start at this fork of this road.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. Reinhold mansplaining women is hilarious.
No.
I know.
No, it's
I'm
just
joking.
like,
I'm joking.
no, I'm
Daryl.
just
I know
saying
you're
though,
being
it's like,
serious.
yeah.
I know you're being
I-
serious.
I'm-
I also completely understand. I've literally written a book in POV of a female character. I understand. I get.
Well,
Where you're
I
coming
came upon a maybe it's a hot take, but it's also not something I necessarily know if we want to talk about.
from.
So I'll leave it up to you. If you guys want to hear about it, then fine. But it's kind of a sexual related thing. So
That's up to you, Harry. You're the host, and I haven't even been introduced yet, so it doesn't matter.
It's okay. I just kept thinking of like that. I actually been sitting here. What you guys are doing is trying to think of the stupid Jack Nicholson quote when he was in that stupid movie when he's asked, "As good as it gets." How do you spell it? And I was going to try to get that quote off, and that's where my brain's been for the last like 5
just write
minutes.
like a man. You take out 20% of the brains, and I can't remember the whole thing, but
yeah, that's what I said. I'm trying to like
it's a really bad one
because it's awful. it's like I can't remember it.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
But as you guys, you got like Vincent over here who just go say hi.
As you guys have heard, the last 45 minutes, I've been here the whole time.
Have you though? Have you?
I mean, I have to be
That's fine.
contractually obligated and all that.
Whoa. You have an NDA about that.
All right, I put the quote in there for you.
Oh,
You can read it.
I think of a man and I take away reason and accountability.
Terrible.
Yep. It's okay. when someone asked me one time, I was like, "What's the biggest difference between being a man, woman?" It's like, well, okay, imagine this: your car breaks down on the side of the road. Most people stop for a woman. For a guy, you'd be lucky if we just move over.
Move out of the way, you mean? Got him. 2 points.
Biggest difference. Yep. Anyway, so election buzz. Let's get this election stuff. So the election's happening tomorrow. This is getting recorded the day on 11/4, right before the election.
That's immediately after. If you listen to another podcast that we kind of all know about called We Are Libertarians
on the network,
or the Chris Spangle Show, probably. I don't know how it's going to be labeled.
It could be that lame show, Chris Spangle. Yeah.
I just got done recording that episode, so yeah, let's go talk some more politics. That's great.
No. Just, good.
There's like, it's gonna be crazy no matter who wins, but I just think it's what a bait and switch by the Democratic Party. Up into the point where it's like, you know what Trump doing really well because he had all this prep time to slander whoever he's up against and say whatever he wants. And they're like, all right, how about this? 4 months, go. Can you do it, Trump? So if she wins, top tier bait and switch. Top tier.
See what you're saying.
Top tier.
Yeah, but come on. Trump is not going to be deterred by that. He immediately pivoted.
All I'm saying, the only person that's going to be happy the most if Trump wins is Gavin Newsom. Okay, all right. Gavin Newsom's going to be like, yes. Newsom's going to start printing those 2028.
There's going to be a lot of people. No. There's going to be a lot of people very happy because they're under indictment right now, and they might get a pardon.
That's true too. Yeah. And Elon Musk probably won't go bankrupt as fast. I said it.
But he did immediately switch, Reinhold. You're right, but he's been much more desperate and grasping at straws a lot more than he was before. Because it's like, she's identifying as black now.
I think it's more a case of she's got a pulse, and people are immediately going to go, "Oh, this is better than we had before," and he immediately loses. He didn't have to work for it. He got it because people are like, Biden. Oh, come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, come on.
So they were just saying, but now that she's in there, and it's like, oh, okay, and they're back into it. So now all these people that he was expecting just to stay home and not care are now going to come out and vote.
Right. Yeah, and it's not like she's a good candidate. She's awful, but it's just
less.
But like I said in the other show, is like, hey, I if she loses in 2028, she'll at least leave.
As producer Paul put it, she's the first presidential candidate that's never won a primary.
That's not true.
Not true.
Well, not true, but she's
modern. Or you say modern.
Modern.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think. A
primary.
Well, here's one.
Because like
we had a president who never won an election as president or vice president.
Right.
Gerald Ford got appointed to VP because Spiro Agnew was a dumbass. And so they put Ford in there, and then Nixon resigns, and now he's president, and he never got elected. I mean, Elise Kamala was elected as vice president. Right. And was running in the primary as vice president. Yeah. She's far more that than Gerald Ford was.
Yeah. I will say, like,
Gerald Ford didn't run for re-election.
Yeah, I will say this all does feel kind of a House of Cards-y, though. Well,
you gotta understand. Everybody's like, well, he shouldn't be running, and it's like, well, I think he finally realized it, but he waited way too long. But he still, they couldn't make him leave. He had to choose to step down.
Right, and I also understand, like, and reason why the DNC didn't want to do the primary, because he wouldn't have survived. If he would have survived the primary, he definitely would not have made it, having to do all those battles. he would be too wounded. He'd be too wounded. He would have gassed him out.
Yeah, well, he was getting too tired
Because
to be able to do.
yeah,
He was getting over prepped. He couldn't do it.
correct. Yeah.
And it's like he's so much better now that he's not under that much pressure to just run and try to run the country. He can just do the country thing, and I think he's better off. And everybody's like, "Oh, he's going to be dead in a week or whatever." I'm like, he's probably going to live to be almost as old as Jimmy Carter, who's still alive, and he's going to see this election. By the way,
how dare you?
Honestly, they should have put Carter
Biden
up.
clone number 48 isn't going to die of old age.
Not gonna lie, honestly they should put Carter up. You know, they should have been Carter. I fixed it before.
You want to know when they were talking about this ahead of time, when they were talking whether Joe should kind of bag it in back in I guess March, I think it was when they first started talking about that.
Yeah,
they did a poll and they put some names out there, and they put out Michelle Obama, and if she had won, because everybody was just like it'd be close. If Michelle Obama was up there, she would have won by 15 points.
Michelle Obama.
I mean, also, I think the thing that really helped Kamala is that during the 4 years of her being vice president, I have heard nothing about her. She's done stuff. She's been around, but there have been like nobody talking about her.
They hit her for a while because her approval ratings tanked immediately.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly why, but it was obvious that her polls were down and they were like, let's keep her back here.
Her being appointed the border czar.
Yeah, the Democrats screwed up because they should have spent the minute he got elected, she should have been front and center. She should have been the face of everything, and him, co-president or whatever, and getting her name out there. So when 2024 comes around, the apparent takes over.
Yeah,
they didn't do that. They screwed up really big.
Well, I think the DNC has done a terrible job of doing candidates. To me personally, like you could watch the Clinton campaign, make sure there was no one to challenge her after Barack left.
Yeah. Well, do you remember if Bo hadn't passed away, Joe runs in 2016.
Right.
Joe beats the crap out of Trump in 2016.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trump could only beat Hillary. That was the only person he was going to beat, and it was close. If Comey hadn't come out with that an announcement of the investigation like a week before the election, I think she still wins. But if Joe Biden had ran and had the support of Obama, who they don't like each other, but if he had sucked it up and gone out there and ran and campaigned for him, I think he beats the crap out of Trump.
Probably, yeah, probably.
But they promised it to Hillary.
Right. And she made sure there was no one in that primary that could challenge her. And the one person that came outside, it was Bernie, and they did everything to demonize him and any other one of his supporters. And now it's biting themselves in the butt. It's like, well, these guys aren't doing it because you guys demonized the Bernie bros. That was almost 10 years ago. What do you think these happened to these guys now? You think they're voting Republican? No, I don't think they're voting Republican. I think they're just going to the Green Party, or not going, or staying home.
They're voting for Jill Stein.
Yeah, we're staying home.
I think the most damning statement about that is them somebody saying basically that if we lose, the Democrats lose, we need to reevaluate how we approach young men voters. If we lose, we have to we have to reevaluate how we're targeting young men for our party.
Instead of even if we win, we still need to reevaluate.
Yep, it's if we lose.
But if they win, I think the Republican Party just bifurcates.
Oof. Yeah, I don't. That's the other thing I'm worried about. Honestly, like the Republican needs to lose because like their authoritarian grossness is reaching its ugly head, and it can't spread.
But here's the fun part. And I talked a little bit about this on the other show. Let's say that Kamala wins 270 to 268.
Oof.
What do you think is going to happen after that?
Well,
do you remember this little term, faithless elector? They need to get one person to change their vote at the Electoral College. There's going to be some pressure and some money, and it's going to get ugly. Not to mention all the lawsuits are going to happen and trying to freeze out a whole bunch of results and everything else. That's going to happen anyway. It's going to be ugly to begin with. And the Supreme Court's already stepped in and started doing stupid stuff. But a lot of the state judges are saying, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. So they're knocking a lot of that stuff down, especially in Georgia. But the Supreme Court did still step in and say at one point, you have to separate those mail-in ballots that are past a certain date or whatever. You have to separate them out. You can still count them, but they have to be separated so that if we need to take them out, we can.
Okay.
So they're already signaling that they may take those and do something with them.
Ooh, scary mail-in ballots.
There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of lawyers. They're already in place, and there's already people trying to. James O'Keefe got mad because he was trying to come in with his, cameras, and it's like you can't bring cameras into this room, and they're like, because there's already cameras in there, and they're approved cameras and everything else. And it's like, no, we need to be in there and watching everything. It's the same thing they did in 2016 or 2020, where they had all these people trying to come in and watch the stuff. And it's like we have people on the right, we have people on the left. They're all in the room together. You coming in as an extra person isn't helping anything.
Right?
You're getting in the way.
Especially day of.
And they don't understand the process, so they see things happening and they think it's cheating. And it's like there was a video in 2020 where there was a Republican and a Democrat, and they were pulling up the ballot, and they said, okay, this one, because it didn't go through the machine reader right. So they were both agreeing on what the vote was. The Republican and the Democrat were agreeing, and they would mark a new ballot so they could go through the machine.
Yep.
Oh, look, they're flipping votes. They're writing in the wrong votes. It's like there's a Republican monitor right there.
Yep.
Agreeing to this. So shut up. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what the processes are and why they're handled that way.
Correct.
And you're just making things worse.
Correct. Yeah. If you really care, you should have volunteered months ago, and you could have been there,
gone through the training, and know what the processes were.
Yep.
If they did that, then there would be a lot less of this. They're stealing stuff. It's like if you saw how those people run those elections, you would go, okay,
yeah.
I guess we're not.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, it's like, hey, can I come up with a way to do it? Heck yeah, but like, you know how much money I would have to spend? You know the team of people I would have to have? I would set off red flags just for all of them meeting in one spot. Like,
right.
You know,
that one person won't leak it to somebody.
Correct.
One Chinese national tried to vote and got caught, and now he's being deported. That's how hard it is to do this. It's just not. You're going to get caught, and it's not worth it to these people. They did an audit in Georgia of the 2020 election, found out in a whole state that I think it was 12 people were on the voter rolls who were legally allowed to vote. Of those 12, I think 7 or 8 may have voted. That's it. Of the whole state, a complete audit of every single ballot cast. That's what they found.
Damn.
That's not changing an election. I'm sorry.
We changed the election with 12 votes. Hey, there's only been 2 elections that have been decided by one vote. Right? Just 2. If I know correctly, it's only been 2. It's been decided by one vote.
I think there was one Senate election that was decided by one vote, which flipped the Senate from Republican to Democrat, if I remember right.
Yep, there was a Senate and
2016.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah, because they've been recent. These have been recent. It was 2016, and then another one happened in 2019 or 2020. Yeah, just 2. Other than that, because before that, it was no election was decided by one vote. They're like, oh
why am I voting?
Why am I voting? I don't understand the point of this. Wow, one vote, one freaking vote.
Yeah, I did make a joke at the end of the other podcast about Pennsylvania being so close and how a certain person might be regretting not being able to vote in that election. But Chris didn't realize who I was talking about. Who used to be in Pennsylvania and is not anymore.
It's okay. He may. if he updated his, he, may. I gotta put. I'm trying to think of a word for cross a border.
Dual citizenship. Yeah.
Cross a border. Okay, and cast a bell.
So Harry, did you label this accordingly for politics on Twitch?
It says election buzz.
All right, so
on Twitch,
no,
did
so
you label it
Twitch
accordingly?
Twitch has started to changing its terms because, well, to be perfectly honest, it's a smart move because the gigantic, awful streamers have been saying awful political hot takes, and they get a lot of ad revenue and a lot of eyes on them, and so Twitch has started to going to start rolling out new rules for doing podcasts. Like it's going to affect our channel going in the future if we. Mostly because Reinhold makes us go into this type of realm, stuff like that. And
I didn't start this one.
it's all your fault. And Vincent too, because it also affects his genre of choice too, as well. As you see, it also forces that thing for for politics and political content and stuff like that, but also for LGBT Q plus issues as well. If you talk about those sensitive topics as well, it pushes us into those categories as well. So now nobody's happy, but everyone's happy. But to be perfectly honest, it makes perfect
bureaucracy
because certain streamers on this platform have
ruined it for everybody.
Has said some awful opinions that I may or may not agree with. Okay,
Yeah, and
some opinions I agree with.
Some of
I'm
them
gonna say whose opinion I agree with.
Get rid of their VODs because One Piece.
Some of them claim that certain people should have the PTSDs and stuff like that. If you're just saying just like some of the most awful takes on the subject, and they're just allowed to sit there and make bits and money and stuff off the site,
yeah. Well, it's all coming from the ad revenue people because they don't want their ads tied to that kind of language, that kind of content.
Correct. So. And I'm with a lot of people. Like I feel sometimes I wish Twitch would go back to just doing video games. Does that affect us? Yeah, but I think I would be easy
to go somewhere else.
You would just go somewhere else.
Yeah, go to YouTube.
We're good. Yeah. Or the green side, What I personally enjoy the green side for the South Korean hunting games, the Hunger Games of South Korea. I like to watch.
If we went to Mixer, we'd probably be the top podcast on the top watched show.
Yeah, I miss Mixer so much. How dare you? I miss that site. That site was so fun. Most a lot better than
Sky to get a lot of engagement, percentage engagement on Blue Sky.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then, so yeah, it's
well, I mean, the punishment they have in it is very interesting. I read through it, and the punishment is like, we're not going to ban you or anything. The first time you do it, we're going to warn you and then change it. But if you keep doing it, we are going to put a tag for you and put you in it based on what you're talking about.
Right. It's the same thing they do. They're just going to do when you do anything like this. So basically, like if Reinhold took off his shirt and got into his hot tub right now, they instantly put us in the pool and hot tub stream. Right.
Well, they're doing that with AI, right? So they're just listening to the stream, and they're going to, from AI, hear certain words, and they're going to flag it, and they're going to throw a tag on it.
Probably.
Right.
Probably.
So if we were to get in here and start talking about, I'm not going to start. I'm not going to do it. I'll just see what kind of tags we can get.
Adolf paint enjoyment.
Yeah, that's mine. There.
The Mao diet. I love it.
Oh shit! So great leap, great leap of tears. Anyways, no. It's so good. It's so bad.
It's such a trail.
Oh man.
Good old Uncle AJ.
I know. Honestly, I still say, yeah, I think most Americans should, I think he should. Honestly, I'm gonna say it. Because of current events, we should probably just leave him on the $20 bill. I was all for taking him off. Now I'm like, nah, he can stay. He can stay. Actually, he can stay. He could say, what? He helped America get a lot of its awful and racism out of the way, and now we don't have to deal with it. Can you imagine doing a podcast with him still around right now?
He was the Trump of the time.
Exactly.
Right?
He's yes. I perfectly know this. I said that also in 2016. I'm not worried that much about Trump. I'm worried about Trumpsonian era after Trump is what I was mostly worried.
And I was talking to Chris about that. And he's like, politics has changed forever. It's never going back to the way it was. I'm like, it was like this back in with Jackson. I mean, it changed. It took a civil war, but we changed.
Yep, we changed. We definitely did change.
And then we had the fascist movement of the 20s, but that's we got over that too. I mean, it comes and goes. Those populist movements come and go.
Yep. Of course.
We just have to reinforce the Enlightenment era ideals, which the populists can't stand, and get back to our roots.
Here comes Reinhold trying to get us to leave the cave again.
But the cave is so comfy. They give us snacks and show us funny cartoons.
Oh my god! Just gotta do
funny because I don't know. It's funny that the takes I hear some people, and it's just like, do you ever pick up a history book? Just once, pick one up. It would be great.
Right,
because you're saying the exact same things they were saying 100 years ago. Exactly 100 years ago, we're having the same conversations about the same things with the same sloganing. Literally, America first. I mean, anti-immigration. It's all the same. We didn't learn anything. History doesn't repeat, but man, it rhymes like a rap song.
Yeah. Oh man! All right.
Well, as this episode gets a little bit later on, there's one thing I do want to bring up since we talked about a company named Ubisoft before.
Okay, all right. It's gonna end it on you. I was gonna close this show.
Harry, have you heard about Champion Tactics Gomorrah Chronicles?
The fuck is that? What?
It's the game. It's Ubisoft's most recent game. It's an NFT game.
Shut up! They made it an NFT game.
They made it NFT.
You know what year it is?
Yep, they released an NFT
Oh my
game
god! It's competitive.
That's connected to Oasis, which is something that CoffeeZilla talked about on his video about calling themselves the ultimate gaming blockchain.
No. What is this?
And you want to know something that's even funnier?
What's up?
Here's a tweet from somebody who's trying to play the game. I tried to play the Ubisoft NFT game. The entire game has been unplayable since Friday. Allegedly, a malicious player has found a way to win every single match before the game even begins. Also, he's somehow the only person anyone ever matches with.
Thank you, doing the God's work. Keep kicking people out.
He is destroying the game to prevent people from wasting their money on something as dog shit as an NFT video game from Ubisoft. Fucking Ubisoft.
So, some heroes don't wear capes. So what is the Oasis blockchain? Champion Tactics Gomorrah Chronicles runs on the Oasis blockchain, which is a gaming optimized and energy efficient blockchain relying on a proof of stake consensus protocol.
Energy efficient.
I told you, Harry. I told you would hate it because it's Ubisoft and NFT Web3.
Oh God, I hate this. This is like the worst stuff about blockchain. Unnecessary blockchain bullcrap. Unnecessary. There's no reason for this to be a blockchain. Nope, what benefit do you get it to be on a blockchain? What benefit do you allow other people to control their things and fork things? No, all in house. What the fuck? So that's just marketing buzz. Make a basic database, and we've got this blockchain called MySQL.
So yeah, they decided it would be an amazing idea to release an NFT game where people aren't even talking about NFTs anymore. They gave up on mostly on NFTs and have mostly just switched over to AI, and the crypto's still around somehow. Yep. But it's much less popular than it was before.
Yeah, because of all the freaking scams and everything.
Of course, but tell me you are out of touch with the internet by releasing an NFT game like 2 years after NFTs basically die.
Hey guys, you need something to make some money? I got an idea. How about an NFT game? Kids love the NFTs.
Like I know that our big IP Star Wars Outlaws didn't sell as much as we wanted it to, and I know we had to delay Assassin's Creed Shadows because we needed a big boost at the end of the next quarter. Plus, we also, for whatever reason, gave rap music to the Black Samurai when he fights for no reason.
Reasons.
Which doesn't make any sense in any connection with Japan in any way, shape, or form, but whatever. Let's release an NFT game. That's how we'll make our money back.
Yep.
It's like,
Perfect.
what is
Perfect.
wrong with them?
So we're gonna get our money back.
Like, it's so beautiful watching a shitty company explode. Watching them go down in a blaze of dumpster fire glory.
Yeah. It's magical. Because no one deserves it more than Ubisoft. Maybe EA, but the sports gamers for some reason are keeping them afloat.
The sports gamers are gonna play Madden no matter what.
God, I wish the sport gamers would just stop.
The sports gamers are still gonna play Madden even though they release NCAA, which is Madden but better. And they just took some things from the NCAA game, put it to the new Madden, and made it worse.
Yeah, they're still gonna do that, and then they're gonna play FIFA. They're gonna play these. It's just in a circle, and the stupid wrestling people are gonna play the same wrestling game. And I'm just like, listen, you play your wrestling game. No, play Sparkling Zero. Now imagine that could be you. You could have played you could start back in the 80s and go all the way through the eras, just like Sparkling Zero. That's the game you could have, but you deal with that crap.
Right.
Which honestly, I would play like WWE Sparking Zero. That'd be something like that.
What, are you telling me you want to play Bruno Sammartino versus Cody Rhodes? I mean, yeah.
Imagine the dialogue you get.
Dusty versus Cody.
Oh God.
But yeah, no, it's just like there's like that would be really cool, but they don't really want that. They're willing to throw money at EA for anything EA does.
God, can you imagine taking like DX HBK versus now? Like y'all sold out. But whoa, we don't swear now. God, man. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Just take some wrestlers that just would not work now. Cool. Here's Hakeem, the African Dream. Talk about not aging well.
Or just like like you.
Or Kamala.
Yeah. It could be fun. All right, this episode's getting long in the tooth. Yeah. All right, I would like to thank everyone who got this far of the episode, because you listened this far. You're a true key holder, and that we thank you. You could be listening to anything else in the world, but you decided to listen to this. And to you and the 300 of you guys who download this podcast every week, thank you. Thank you ever so much. Love every one of you, and we'd love for you to come and hang out with us live. You can come and watch the podcast live on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/We Are Libertarians and youtube.com/We Are Libertarians, which I don't know, I'm probably going to change the username of the Twitch page because Spangle doesn't use it, so I'm going to change that here in a bit. And the YouTube page, he doesn't use that a bit, so we might as well abandon it because the SEO is getting ready to bring us down. So, but that's stuff we will work on the new year, because we're probably going to take. I'm going to probably end up. I think the last 2-3 weeks of the year, I'm taking off. We're going to take off. I'm done. I'm just going to take off. I'm done. Even though this podcast started because Bengal took off and I needed something to talk on, but I'm going to take off myself. So, which is weird. But anyways, it's funny. It's funny how that happens. So, yeah. So say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hang up on you people.